Well, hi diddly do there, neighbors.
Highly ho.
What's
Neighbors.
up?
It's Monday, January 13th. That's what's up.
Oh, is it really 2025?
We're in the future,
Cinemaniacs time for movie and other conversation, I guess.
Yes, movie and entertainment, I guess.
Yeah, it's movie and entertainment. I think that sounds lovely. Yeah, you're welcome to join us. We'd love to have you be part of the show. Even if you haven't seen the movie tonight, join in. Act like you know what you're talking about. It's fine. Or hang out in the chat or wait until we're talking about things to recommend. But remember, you have to be on the show to have a chance to pick the movie for next week.
True.
So if you're not with us, then you're against us.
Now, tonight's movie is on HBO Max, whatever you're calling it now, exclusively. And
yes.
if you don't want spoiler alerts, if you haven't watched it and you plan to, well, I'm sorry, you're going to have to be spoiled.
Don't watch it.
Wow. Well, we know Eric's opinion. Thanks. Good night.
Thank you. Good night. No, we'll talk. We'll talk. It'll be fine. We're going to talk about Caddo Lake.
Caddo Lake. An interesting twisted turns of folds of time.
Yeah.
I've seen it twice.
Yeah. No, it's a lovely movie. We'll talk about it. Well, you want to bring in Adam since he's the one that chose this movie.
Yes, it's Adam's choice.
Why he picked up on Caddo Lake?
I hadn't seen it before, and it just seemed like an interesting concept for a movie. So that's pretty much why I picked it.
Where had you heard about it from?
Well, I had seen it. They were Brittany would talked about it in the chat previously with Dan,
right?
And then when it was time to pick a movie, I was scrolling through Max. I saw it on Max. I read the synopsis myself, and I'm like, this seems pretty interesting. So then I just was like, all right, well, I'm going to watch it. Or we'll all watch it. And
Dan is our resident time travel expert.
Yes.
Now, and well, we can bring in the rest of the crew.
All right, here
remember,
we go.
you're welcome to join us too. If you head over to EriDanLive.com, you can join us, or you can hang out in the chat. But without getting too spoilery right off the bat, I will ask Dan.
Yes.
Is this your preferred logic of time travel?
I do like the time travel where, similar to Somewhere in Time, it already had happened.
Right.
Like you have no control over it.
Right.
Like nobody changed anything in this movie. It was already part of the existence. Whereas Back to the Future, they broke the rules because they not only did they change things, then they also didn't change things. Like they kind of went both ways.
Yeah, they didn't. They were not consistent with their.
This did follow its rules very well.
It did. So, all right, we've got Dave and Amanda here, and I'm assuming this was everybody's first time watching this.
Well, it was my second actually, but only within a week. So
oh wow! Okay,
I just did a rewatch so I could discuss it more.
So you obviously enjoyed it if you were willing to watch it twice in the same week.
Well, yeah, I mean, Brittany did mention it in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "What is she talking about?" Like, she said Caddo Lake. I'm like, is she thinking of like, is there something in Erie I'm supposed to know about? Am I performing at a club in Caddo Lake? Yeah, Cornell Lake.
You're supposed to Caddo Lakes.
Yeah, Ricky Lake. I didn't know. So once I watched the trailer, I was like, "Oh, okay. I see why she's telling me I should watch this." And yes, I did enjoy it when I watched it.
Well, there you go.
As I mentioned, it's a very slow beginning.
Yeah, we're going to get some attention at the beginning.
Yeah.
I was pretty bored the whole way through, to be honest with you.
I was going to say, like, the final third of the movie was just people running between trees and panting. Like, it was very boring, very fast.
That was the original title of the movie, was Running Between Trees and Panting.
Yeah,
and then
that would have been accurate.
I will say I can't remember seeing a movie recently where everybody on screen was as miserable for the entire movie as people were in this.
Yeah. There was a lot of miserableness.
Yeah.
Everybody's unhappy. Everybody's yelling at everybody. Everybody's trying to get away from everybody. Everybody feels guilty about everything they ever did.
It's like a Christmas story. No, I'm sorry.
But Adam, now that you've seen it, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think to Dave's point, I think the reason everyone's so miserable in the entire movie is because everything that happens, that's the whole crux of the movie that you find out at the end. I think that had, it permeates down to every. It was very confusing, but I think like everyone's just like, I think it affected everybody in the movie. What happens at the end that you found that really happened in the past, whatever. Like I said, it was confusing. I'm gonna have to watch it again to kind of figure it out. But I was like, so wait, so the chick at the grocery store in the past is her mom, and then the guy in the hospital that drowns in the water is her dad, and then the dad,
my own grandpa. Something like
yeah,
that.
it was kind of,
absolutely.
it was very,
that's what I said. But,
yeah, and I was like trying to figure it out. I mean,
her younger stepsister is his mom.
Mm.
Is her grandmother.
And
Her
the only thing
her younger stepsister is her grandmother.
and the only thing I didn't understand, and I
There's
don't
a
know if
long way to get for that.
well, I don't know if it was explained or not, but the only thing I didn't understand is how then in the beginning of the movie, the little girl's even there in the future if she died, or it was that part confused me. Like, how was she even?
They didn't let us know right away that the guy's storyline was 2005 and the girl's storyline was 2022. They didn't really let us know. Those are happening, and you keep going back and forth.
Right.
And like you hear something and you see her hearing something, but they're in two totally different times.
Right. But then you notice little things like, oh, well, in this timeline, the bridge has already collapsed.
Right.
But in his timeline, the bridge is fine.
Right. That's what I was confused
The
about.
dam is already up, and in this timeline, it's just being built.
Right.
They really slowly give you those hints.
But it is weird to think the girl was 8 years old and all of a sudden she's in 1952. Like 8 years old is old enough to kind of know. Like the girl would be like, wait a minute, this isn't where
who's going to believe you in 1952?
Yeah.
Who's going to believe you?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that didn't bother me.
Away.
Mm-hmm.
So she ended up having, what I liked is the fact that the girl who hated her stepfather ends up realizing that that's her grandfather. Like they actually were blood.
Yeah, but it was such a dumb way to end. I don't know, because it was like it was like she doesn't feel that they're family, but they are. But the only reason she thinks that they're family now is because they're literally family, not because she's grown to appreciate him at any level.
Right.
Like it's not an appealing like arc at all. Is it like, oh no, we're literally blood. I don't act before you were definitely not my family at all.
And I also think, I don't mind time travel movies that don't try to overly explain the mechanism of time travel. That's okay. The fact that there's this magical spot that when you go to it, sometimes but not all the time, you can move through time.
If it's wet, it doesn't work.
Right.
But if it's wet, it doesn't work. That was making me start to scratch my head a little bit. And then that his mother apparently went back in time driving over the bridge, but people would have driven over that bridge all the time.
Well, no, she didn't go back in time. She was having a seizure because of the time portal that she
was.
But
you only have the seizure when you go through the time ripples.
Yeah, see, that was the weird thing with the yeah.
But she had seizures all the time, I think, because she was in her wrong timeline.
No, she only had seizures when the portal was active.
With the low water.
Right. Portal was active because she was in the wrong timeline. Maybe. Right. But we don't know.
So that means yeah, okay, fine. Yeah.
So the movie, I mean, they finished this movie in 2021. Max didn't pick it up until 3 years later. And M. Night Shyamalan became a producer of it after the fact.
It's a movie he would have made.
He probably saw it at a festival and goes, all right, I'm involved. I'll help you guys get this sold. I'll put my name on it so you guys can get it sold.
And I didn't hate it. I just didn't really enjoy it either.
Yeah, I will say that. I don't think I hated it, right? Like I wasn't hate watching
It's not a bad movie.
No, I agree.
And the story is a little confusing. And the second time you watch it, you go... It's like The Sixth Sense. It's like the second time you watch it, it's very obvious.
Well, it also struck me as someone came up with a really clever idea and then tried to craft a movie around it. and
Mhm.
it felt forced at times. It was like a story told just to present this one idea, and
Right.
it wasn't enough to hang a movie on in some ways.
And I
Yeah.
get why, like, in the story, everyone's unhappy and, like, stressed the whole time. But the fact that everyone is unhappy and stressed the whole time makes it feel very, like, one note, I guess. Like, emotionally, there's not a lot of, like...
Well,
it just kind of loses any impact when everyone just spends the whole time being, like, panicky and stressed. Like, just kind of, yeah.
I remember years ago listening to a radio interview with Leonard Bernstein where he was talking about how when he was writing West Side Story, he realized that this was an oppressive, depressing story, and that to have it more effective, he had to have moments of lightness within it to make the contrast work, which is why he wrote I Feel Pretty and Officer Krupke, specifically to break the tension so that then when you get back immersed into it again, it has more impact. This was just so one note.
Yeah.
Yeah. Initially, the movie was going to be called. Wait, where is it?
A Lady in the Lake?
No, it had one. Oh, it's called Vanishings originally. And then they changed it to the
That's so
Vanishings
much
at Caddo Lake.
Great.
Yeah,
And
Vanishing's
dropped
a
it
terrible title.
Yeah, and then they dropped it to just Caddo Lake.
Yeah.
I mean, they do kind of allude to the fact at the beginning that something about Indians or something. So I don't know if they were trying to like allude to like there's some kind of like native like mojo stuff going around with the lake, and then they do pay off. I got that at the end when the water rises and the way the rope cut in half. Like when they found the alligator at the beginning of the movie, it was cut in half the exact same way. So, it came.
When the hole closes, it's closed, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I figured that stuff out, but there was a couple of things that I was kind of like, huh? What? Eh? Like the dad just all of a sudden, like at the end, the dad's all of a sudden just in the hospital, like dying. Like, or did I miss something? Or or he was, because.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been 7 or 8 years later.
Yeah,
I guess
it's in the future, so
something.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
no, it's like 20 years almost. It's 2005 to
You're right,
2022.
Yeah, 17 years, yeah.
Or 17 years.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so he went. See, I was confused. So basically, he goes forward in time and she goes back in time.
Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
And he also went back in time to find his...
Yeah, to save his mom.
To drop off his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought that Ellie's story kind of worked. I mean, it was a little bit depressing and all that, but you sort of got it. Paris just struck me as a guy that looked confused the entire movie.
Yeah, I found I at least thought the beginning setup with Ellie and her family was a little more interesting. I found Paris's like girlfriend or whatever she was extremely annoying. I found their whole dynamic very annoying. Like the whole like, oh, we're going to pretend we're in a kitchen. Oh, what do you want? Let's open the cabinet. That felt so forced.
Rainfall and comparing it to his mother's seizures.
Yeah, I don't.
That's really a stretch.
I feel like that whole setup felt extremely forced. The fact that at one point when he goes back into the past the first time, and the first thing he asks these guys is, "What year is it?" As if he can somehow know he time travel. Like I don't know. A lot of the writing stuff like that.
I'm just glad they didn't do not where are you, when are you?
But
I hate that.
I'm going back to Caddo Lake.
My mom wrote, I thought it was a twisty and turny story going back and forth until I figured out what was going on at the end.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. I was like, what the hell is this guy?
Like I said, I didn't hate it. I just, after I was done watching it, I went, okay.
Yeah. I feel like there are better movies out there involving this kind of tale that would be worth watching more than this.
Have you watched Predestination?
I have.
That one's twisty turny.
That gave me nightmares.
Yes. And that literally is he's his own.
Yeah, that messed me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie really messed me up. So
that is called a mind F movie of all mind F movies.
Yeah, and I feel like this one was just a little heavy-handed trying to be like, we're so clever with our overly dramatic music right from the get-go. And it's just like, you're working awfully hard at this.
I thought the scene where Ellie, she arrives home and then the boat disappears. Then she arrives again as herself later and takes them. I thought that was well done. It's a trope.
And she
You know,
broke the chain as she was getting into the DeLorean.
You're sort of hiding from your other self, just like in Avengers Endgame. Basically, that's been done in so many time travels movies, but it was still well done.
Yes,
There were moments that were nice.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said,
Like
it
more of
follows.
I
It
think.
follows a good rule
Yeah.
because everything that happened had already happened. Like they weren't changing time.
Right.
Yeah, they just spend so long of her story with her being by herself running through the trees or looking stuff up on a computer, which is the least
Or
interesting
floating
part
through the
of it.
trees.
Yeah. Watch me frantically Google search things for like weirdly long.
Looking at footprints in the mud.
I feel like if you're, I don't need it fully spelled out, but I feel like the fact that it's like, all right, it's just mysterious tree placement.
And I'm sorry, you pin out this grainy black and white photo and go, "That's my stepsister." Yeah,
Absolutely. Right. But I mean, I feel like that on top of primarily through most of the movie, it's like, well, I'm pretty sure I'm time traveling, but I'm not going to tell anybody.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it's like, I'm just not going to mention it.
Except meanwhile, Paris, as soon as he found his dad in the hospital, spilled it, tried to tell him the entire story about how he saved his mom as a child, as if that would make any sense to his like dying father.
His dad's like, I'm losing my mind, aren't I?
Yeah.
I mean, it was obviously a low budget film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There were no real special effects per se. There's just when they're going through the time ripples or whatever you want to call them, their ears would bleed and they lose their hearing. A lot of focus briefly. So it was, I get that, and that doesn't really bother me. But it just, yeah.
Crazy.
So the whole thing with him dying, like drowning in the water, that doesn't alter the timeline at all? Like, I don't understand.
No, because
like,
he died.
I mean,
he died at the end.
He disappeared.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He disappeared and his family never saw him again. And the reason he disappeared was he lived the future and drowned.
Yeah, see, that's why I'll have to watch it again. Just
the question is, like the watch in Somewhere in Time, where did the necklace come from? Because he found it in the water, right? And then she saw it and he hung it on the rearview mirror, and then she knew it was Ellie's necklace. I mean, or what's her name's yeah. So it's like, where did that necklace actually come from initially? And there were two of them at one point.
Yes, which is
he finds it wrapped around the boat propeller, and yeah, it was interesting more than it was good.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I had never seen it before. It looked interesting, and like I said, like Dan said,
watched far worse movies.
Well, I mean, it starts off slow, and I mean, it does pick up. It just, I mean, it's an hour and a half movie, and first 30 minutes really, it's all set up pretty much the first 30 minutes of it.
Now, the main character, his real name is Dylan O'Brien. Was that not the fake name that Seinfeld used in the limousine episode? I want to be O'Brien.
Maybe O'Brien.
You're O'Brien.
I don't know about Dylan.
I thought it was Dylan.
I don't know about that.
All right.
Crazy.
Had anyone seen any of these actors before in anything?
Well, this guy was in Teen Wolf, the MTV series. Eliza was in
the award-winning MTV series. No, I'm kidding.
She was.
I mean, that's not a criticism. I was just curious.
She's Australian. She was in the Australian soap opera Home and Away, and then HBO miniseries Sharp Objects.
How's her Australian accent?
And she played the young Eleanor Roosevelt in the Showtime series The First Lady in 2022. Diana Hooper, Caroline Falk don't even have pages.
Wow.
I want to see the person the actress that played his girlfriend. I think she's kind of famous. I think, or she used to be. I don't know.
Lauren Ambrose.
Yeah, her.
Oh yeah, she's
been in some stuff.
Oh yeah. Where was she? She was in
3 episodes of the revived X-Files.
Oh God.
She was in a movie called Loving Leah.
Wow.
Wow, Donnie Irish song. Uh,
Well, I don't know. Maybe she's not.
She's the
She
lead
was on
singer.
6 Feet Under.
Oh, that's right. That's the girl from 6 Feet Under.
Okay.
Is that really who that is?
Yes.
Oh yeah, she was Claire on 6 Feet Under. She was the lead, the daughter on 6 Feet Under.
Okay then.
That's a great show. All right.
Great.
Oh wait, that's the girl. That's the mom, not the girlfriend. Sorry.
The mom is the girlfriend.
Well, I know the
Yeah.
mom is the girlfriend, but Adam's talking about who the young girlfriend was.
No, they're the same.
You're mean, Eric.
All right, I'm done doing research. All right, I give it a thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
I'm gonna go with thumbs down.
Oh,
3
Yeah.
thumbs
oh
down.
my!
Wow.
All right, so Dan,
It's a mild thumbs down. It's not a,
Yeah,
it's
I
not a.
agree, but
ooh.
but there is no.
But I would not recommend it to anybody. No.
Dan, your mother watched it, and she said it was.
She liked it.
twisty, but does that mean that she would
She
recommend?
said, well, hold on. I'll see. Mom, are you going to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? She said probably a story you'd have to pick apart scene by scene. She gave it a thumbs up to put it on a timeline to get it all figured out. So yeah, you need the red string.
So
And
there you go.
where does this all go?
So 50%. 50%.
It got a 50.
It got a 50. Look at that. And
Which-
honestly, here's my thing. With my thumbs down, I'll say, like, if you're with somebody and they're like, we have to watch this, it's not going to be the worst experience of your life, right?
No.
But if you're alone and you get to pick the movie, don't do this.
This might not be your first choice, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, there's other options out there in the buffet of moviedom. So there you go. All right. Well, I didn't really need the percentage calculator for that one. That one was pretty easy.
On the pantheon of time travel movies, it's not at the very bottom. It's not at the very top. It's pretty much right in the middle.
That is correct.
It's a better movie than Time Cop, but not as entertaining as Time Cop.
I think that's fair. Because don't watch Time Cop ever.
No, I watch Time Cop almost annually, and Somewhere in Time is still way better than this.
Is it though? All right, so we're gonna.
If it had more panting and running in it, Somewhere in Time would have been better.
All right, so we're gonna spin a wheel. Now, Dan, does your mother want to be in the wheel?
I don't think so, but I mean, she didn't
Okay.
want to be last week, so she can tell
You
us
can
if she'd like
ask.
to be on the wheel. She is watching.
Everybody else want to be on the wheel? Adam doesn't get to be on the wheel because no choosing the same.
No, so y'all have a 25% chance of winning.
I know, right?
Ooh.
May the odds be in your favor.
Oh, that was going to be my movie choice right there.
Oh man, which one though?
Which
Which of the 4 movies?
My mom says no, she would not like to be on it.
All right, I'm gonna
this
shuffle.
is it. Oh, you shuffled. Very nice.
I did. I shuffled. Always got to shuffle, and and you have like 10 minutes to find a
It's
movie.
EriDan versus the
Things
Gensels.
mine. But if you want to check what's streaming of your movie choices, that's fine too.
So EriDan is sort of gold colored, and the Gensels are green colored.
That's right.
Or I'm the outlier with the family members.
That's true. Are we ready?
Nieces and brother-in-laws.
All right. Here we go. Choosing our movie for next week is gonna be
Oh, almost a tie.
whoa, amazing.
Okay, give me a sec then.
Wow, how exciting. So yeah.
I know she has a pile of movie possibilities.
I have a list. Yeah, I'm just gonna look up to confirm which ones we haven't done already and which ones are
actually
streaming.
streaming out there in the world somewhere.
Yes, so give me a few minutes. But I
And
will-
now the Caddo Lake's already been picked. You're gonna have to change your.
I know it's really disappointing. What I'm gonna
Let me
do.
see if I can grab this without breaking my head.
Dan's left. He's so disappointed.
There are still a few other. I mean, there's still quite a few interesting time travel movies we haven't watched. I'm not saying managed to pick those.
Yeah.
I mean, Loopers we haven't watched yet, which is really an interesting movie.
No, that's not a time travel. It was Stargate. Stargate's not a time travel movie, is it?
Um,
Not really.
No,
No.
it's
No, not
space
really.
travel. It's-
Yeah. Yeah.
So over the last Friday, my good friend Bruce McBroom, the photographer, gave me a movie item.
Wow.
From Mr.
That's
Saturday
fantastic.
Night, and he signed it for me. I'm his second favorite comedian. But that was the actual. This is like a one-off prop.
Mr. Saturday Night is never streaming anyway.
No.
It's very disappointing because I would love that to be a movie choice.
Really, it has become a surprisingly obscure movie.
Yes.
And I also have the media kit
Yeah.
with the premiere ticket.
Whoa.
Well, it's just like they're coming out with the
And all the pictures.
They're coming out with the sequel of 28 Days Later, and that movie 28 Days Later you can't, it's out of print and you can't watch it anywhere.
Yeah, that's silly. I don't understand what's up with that.
Is it called 28 Days Even Later?
No, it's 28 Years Later is the sequel.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because they did 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, and this one's 28 Years Later, and then they're going to do like 2 more after that.
280 years later.
Which I have not seen the sequel, but the original one I actually liked a lot. It was actually really good.
They're both that and both the first one and the sequel are amazing.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
So you haven't seen 28 Weeks Later.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
I highly recommend that if you can find it somewhere. It's really good.
I wonder if they'll do a sequel to this, Mr. Sunday Night.
I see what you did there.
Or Mr. Saturday Night Jr.
Yeah, you can only buy Mr. Saturday Night
The whole cast list.
for like $13 or $20.
Eek.
Yeah.
I mean, I always like it gets a lot of hate. It's a zombie movie. It gets a lot of hate, but I mean, I'll never put it on the wheel. I'll never pick it. But I enjoy World War Z. I thought that was a good movie.
Yeah, that's a fun movie.
You know who wrote that?
But I like
I've never seen it. My problem is by the time it came out, I was so burned out on zombie movies and shows that I just sort of ignored it.
Yeah.
Do you know who wrote that movie, Adam?
Who?
The movie
Billy
you're talking about. No. Mel Brooks' son, Max.
No.
Oh, okay.
Max Brooks wrote that.
Or was it Foster Brooks? One of those.
It was a Brooks.
It was HBO.
Brooks Brothers.
Speaking of Mel Brooks, I guess they're doing. I mean, it's old news, but I guess they're doing a sequel of Spaceballs.
They keep talking about it. I don't know if they're ever going to actually do it.
Like Josh Gad's involved with it now, and
They should do a prequel. That's how they should handle Spaceballs. Is do a prequel like the Phantom Menace, you know?
Yeah.
Possibly go wrong.
And then during the
Well, all
movie,
the
just
actors are dead.
Constantly keep poking fun at the fact that it's a prequel and you know what really happens later.
so I went back.
Yeah,
I went back and watched the first J.J. Abrams Star Trek, and after I watched it, I realized that like I'm sure he's super talented as a director, but it's he just does the same thing with all these movies that like the same thing he did with Force Awakens. It's just a retread of the original movie. I'm spoiler, right? Yeah, it's a different timeline in the new his Star Trek, but it's basically a retread. I mean, to me, it was a retread. I don't know.
Well, it's the same characters. He had to get
It's
to
a well-made movie. I do enjoy it, but
too many lens flares.
it's a movie that could never exist without the original. You're right.
But then they do. Has anyone seen the second one, Star Trek Into Darkness?
Yep.
Yeah.
See, it's the same thing. They basically.
That series goes downhill pretty quick.
Well, they basically Star Trek Into Darkness is basically the Wrath of Khan, except stuff's just switched around. That's all it is.
Right.
I also find the entire concept of red matter just laughably silly.
Anywho,
And for some reason, Spock is carrying around this giant blob of matter, the tiniest drop of which can destroy a planet.
That's too fair. It's the Reality Stone. Don't you know that? That's all it is.
no, I've never seen this. Whatever the one after that is, the third Star Trek one, the newer ones. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's fine.
The one I know, like they're like an alien planet or something. I don't know. They're on an alien planet or
The casting was pretty decent in those, but that's really about it.
Well, no, Zachary Quinto was a dead on.
Quinto's good. Pine is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pine's no Kirk, but they're solid.
Carl Urban as McCoy is pretty good too.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel like McCoy, but he's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I have made a choice. And
Oh,
I'm pretty sure we have not watched it yet. It's one that I watched a while ago, and I have it on DVD, but it's been a bit, and I've been
Space
wanting
World.
to
Space World.
rewatch it. I'm sorry.
Ice World?
I'm going with Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh,
Have we
wow.
watched that?
I checked; it's not on the list.
No, we've never watched that.
Nope. It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
What
I
Wes
feel like-
Andersons have we watched then? Huh. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't
that's
know,
exciting.
but not that one.
I
It
believe
was actually my first Wes Anderson movie, and then I saw other ones since then. But I very much enjoyed
I
Fantastic.
don't remember if I've actually ever seen this or not.
Whoa.
I've never seen it, and I don't have Disney Plus. I'll have to figure out a way to watch it.
It's like a $4 rental on YouTube and Amazon Prime and like Amazon Prime
Okay.
and stuff. Yeah.
I think he's only done 2 animated movies, right? This and then later Isle of Dogs.
I think those are the only 2 I can think of, but I'm not particularly mad.
His movies are very hit or miss, but when they're good, man, they are so good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Grand Budapest Hotel is just amazing.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's talented for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool.
We have on Blu-ray, so ready to watch.
Yeah.
I really like the Life Aquatic. That was a good one.
With Steve Zissou.
Yes.
He definitely has his cast of actors that he uses over and over. You know, whether it's Bill Murray, whether it's Luke Wilson, he really has his company.
Yes.
The what's the one with the train? The Darjeeling.
Darjeeling Limited.
I didn't like that one too much.
And I found Asteroid City to be trying too hard.
Oh, I enjoyed that because
I didn't hate it. I just thought it tried way too hard. I expected it to be better than it was going in.
What's the one where they're at they're like a camp or something?
Oh yes, some Moonrise Kingdom.
Yeah, that one was all right.
That was good. Yeah.
My favorite one still is the Rushmore, his very first film. I love that one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's true. We watched that one here. Yeah.
Rushmore?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we watched that.
Rushmore.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yes, we did indeed.
All right.
And actually did pretty well.
I'm going to move us into recommendations. All right, there it is. There it is.
Rushmore got one of Stacy's lowest scores ever at a 47.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty.
What did I give it, Dave?
It
I
was
liked it.
What did you give it? Let's see. Rushmore, Adam. There's Adam's column. You gave it a 90.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Wow.
I don't think I loved it, but that's all right.
Even his films that I'm not a big fan of, I still enjoyed watching them though. Because his style is so unique, his cinematography is so interesting that they're fun to watch even when they're not complete successes.
Yeah, see, I'm having that flashback too right now that we watched this.
No,
I know it's not on the list. I mean, George
Yep,
Clooney,
I
Bill
think
Murray,
not
Jason
question the list.
I don't have
Meryl's-
this nearly as often as you do, Dan, but this is one I could have sworn we watched.
Meryl Streep,
Yeah.
Owen
I
Wilson.
really didn't.
I mean, yep.
Promise
If you
we
watched it, no one put it on the list, so I'm not sure what to tell you.
It's possible.
I promise we didn't watch this.
It
I
might have
agree.
been somebody else watched it and we talked about it.
That's very possible.
Might have been a recommendation of somebody's.
Yeah.
That's possible. Yeah.
So, does anybody have any other recommendations? Anything they've seen recently that they want to?
I watched the
Moat?
Jerry Springer documentary on Netflix.
Oh,
It's 2 episodes. It's how Jerry Springer became Jerry Springer. It's like from the beginning of his show to his death, basically. And how horrible some of these producers were. And the guy that created the show was like a tabloid king. And it's pretty entertaining. It's quick 2 episodes on Netflix.
Netflix. Very nice.
Yes, there's my recommendation for the week.
That's an excellent recommendation. Fantastic.
Remember Morton Downey Jr.?
Uh-huh.
Man, the tabloid show for a while got so bad. They were so over the top. They then sort of pulled back a bit. I mean, although I'd rather watch a guy like Jerry Springer that is unapologetically tabloid than a guy like a Dr. Phil who's trying to pretend to be really trying to help people, but it's all just ratings.
Yeah.
Right.
I did follow up on Eric's recommendation, and we watched and greatly enjoyed Man on the Inside.
Oh, nice.
Oh yes, I watched it too. I loved it.
It was a little uneven. Some episodes were much better than others, but it was a very enjoyable watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it goes by quick. It's a quick 8 episodes.
The kids were hysterical. The three sons were absolutely hysterical.
Yeah.
We were laughing out loud at them.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That whole thing.
Bro.
Bro. Yes.
I haven't watched it yet, but has anyone seen? It's on Amazon Prime. Has anyone seen Secret Level? No. Okay.
Not heard
Like
of
a video game, like anthology kind of show, I guess. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. It looks pretty good. I didn't know if anybody had seen it though. Yeah, it's called Secret Level. Okay. Yeah.
We watched Thelma, and I would definitely recommend Thelma. It's currently only available for rent, but it is a very silly, fun movie with some
We saw that in theater.
excellent character development. I think really, really enjoyable characters.
She was just on one of the talk shows recently, which surprised me because that movie came out so long ago. I guess she was on plugging the release to physical media or something.
Yeah. It's really it was much better than I thought it might have been, and I had heard that it was pretty good. It's like, yeah, that's a fun watch.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to Severance season 2 starting.
When is that coming? Soon?
Friday.
They announced the actual debut date yet?
Yeah, Friday.
Oh,
I know because I know Ben Stiller was on the talk shows just last week, so I knew it was coming up soon.
It's Friday, but they only do one episode. It's one
Yeah.
of those.
Mm.
So they'll probably do 2 on Friday, and then it's 1 a week.
I will say if you haven't, last week Colbert had Ben Stiller on, and he did a short film that was very funny of Colbert, the footage of Stephen Colbert and Severance that got cut, and it's
cool.
very good.
My mom was like to suggest One Life with Anthony Hopkins.
Oh.
Story of a man who saved children during World War II. One Life, Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Very nice, very nice.
Anthony Hopkins, former mayor of Pacific Palisades, and
His house burned down. His house burned down too.
Steve Guttenberg, who was on TV more last week than he was in the last 10 years.
Yeah, getting some press.
Was saving people's cars.
So, do you know anybody that's been impacted by the fires, Dan?
I know people that know people.
Okay.
Like not individually, but I mean, I know people that have been without power since that day.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That are still, can't be at their house.
Just terrible. Just crazy.
Yeah.
Weren't they supposed to I heard a rumor, weren't they I don't think they'll ever do it now, but weren't they supposed to reboot Police Academy with Steve Guttenberg and some of the original cast members and stuff? Or
there was talk, I remember a couple years ago, when my buddy Jeff did the movie with him. Jeff and I sat down and sketched out a movie that was we would take all of Steve Guttenberg's movies and make kind of like a Scream, kind of like a spoof movie of all of them with him starring in
the
it.
SGU.
Yeah, the Steve Guttenberg universe. And it was I know what you did in a diner. P.S. I know what you did in a diner when you were at the police academy and with 3 men and a baby and I don't know. There's also talk of three grandpas and a baby.
Oh gosh.
With Tom Selleck and
Ted
Ted Danson.
Yeah.
I don't say Ted Danson really is what makes Man on the Inside so good.
Oh,
He is just one of those rare actors that is just so engaging on screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
All right. Well, we thought it would be a shorter show.
It might be a shorter show, but that's all right. We enjoyed having everybody here, and honestly, my back is killing me, so I need to go anyway.
Did you move too much stuff recently?
I have moved a lot of stuff recently, so it's something else.
we can always go walk. We could walk through the swamp and walk through the trees and see where the show ends up.
There you go.
Wait, I
You've
just
been
lost my
doing too much
hearing.
camping and
Hold
running,
on.
Mhm.
Oh, it's back.
All right. Well, anybody? Last remarks?
So next
Nope.
week we have our assignment.
All
I'm gonna
right.
go watch football.
All right. Go watch football. And then make sure you take time and watch the fantastic Mr. Fox.
I expect the Vikings to roll tonight, but we'll see.
I'm just glad Tampa Bay lost last night. Screw Tampa Bay.
I think it's cool that they're playing in Arizona. Like they recreated the
They had to, they had
Rams
to move
field.
the game. Yeah,
in Arizona.
I have
What
no-
happens to the people that bought tickets though?
I'm sure they just get their money
I
back.
assume they can
probably.
get a refund.
Yeah.
But then all the people in Arizona are like, "Hey, we get tickets to a game now. Now we have a home playoff game."
I mean, they've had to move games before, but not usually playoff games.
Yeah.
They've had facilities issues and things like that. I know, leaking stadiums and things they've had to move. But yeah,
Will there be a show Saturday morning?
As of now, yes, there will be
Okay.
Car Yada with Rafi and Dan, but there might not be.
And the real question is, will there be a TikTok come next Monday?
Who cares? Who cares?
And whether there is or there isn't, there's a comedy special available at danrosenberg.com.
Oh, there it is. All right, perfect.
See, I think, Dan, you should, inspired by Caddo Lake, you should do Boat Yada.
Do the boats instead of the cars.
Yeah.
Ah.
Where's Scott?
Kayada Lake.
I talked to Scott yesterday. He said he was going to be on, but I guess he never watched the movie.
What a punk. All right,
well.
everybody.
Cool.
We will see you back here next Monday night for more mayhem and the fantastic Mr. Fox.
Mayhem is a good description of Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Well, I need some mayhem, so this is good.
A lot of mayhem.
Perfect.
All right. Sounds like an Allstate
All right.
commercial. All right.
Bye.